Hello, this video covers the instructions steps 1 through 4 of building your Rabot. And the first thing that we want to do is to take the cables and put the pin housings on the end. You can see there are 2 cables with 4 conductors and 1 cable with 2 conductors. I've already done some of these. And when you put the housings on, the multiple conductor cables, you want to make sure that they're flat and that the wires don't cross so that they go in the housings in the right order. Now what you want to do is to hold these so that the crimped part is facing up. You can see a little bit of the copper wire if you look closely, but if you look from the side, you can also see that it's sort of cupped upwards, if you will. And that's the side that I want facing up when I take the housing. And doing the multiple ones is a little tricky because you don't want to put one all the way in. You want to sort of put them all the way in together. So you get them started in the different holes. And it's always a little tricky to get them going, but there, I've got all 4 started. And you'll notice that the hole on the housing is on the far side. The holes are pointing up and the wires have the crimp and the copper side showing up. And once you get it aligned like this, you push it in until you hear a little click. Yep, make sure all 4 click, and the click's pretty faint, but looks good. Now I've got a completed cable. And now I do the same thing for the other one. I'll not do that right now. I'll do that off camera. Now there's also a 2-wire cable. And notice that the 2-wire cable has individual housings on one end, and the other end has a combined 2-pin housing. This is a little out of step from the written instructions, but I think it makes sense now to go ahead and take the 2-wire cable, put 2 loops in it, and then hold the loops in place with the provided wire tie. And then you can just use some diagonal cutters to cut off the extra part of the tab. Now, the next step is mount the speaker. And what I want to do is to take the ends of the 2-wire cable that are separate and put them through from the back side the holes in the speaker mount. There we go. So they're sticking out. Then we want to take some diagonal cutters. We'll get them started by hand, not diagonal cutters, pliers. Get them started by hand. Put the pins on, and the speaker pins are polarized, but that doesn't really matter for this circuit. And you can get them started, and with maybe some needle nose, push them all the way in. Now the next step is to put glue on, and some of these speakers have little tabs. Some of them are smooth all the way around, but this one has tabs. So what I want to do is I'll not do this at the moment, but I want to put some glue right on the tabs, a little bit of glue on those tabs, and then gently push it through and hold it together. Hold it for about 30 seconds until the glue has a chance to set. And then you can set that one aside. Now, the next piece that we want to do is the tail. And the tail has an LED that goes inside this little piece of plastic that's actually glow in the dark, translucent glow in the dark. And sometimes there are some little burrs, and you can take a pair of scissors or perhaps some pliers or something and just go around the inside to make sure that's perfectly clear, because we want to insert the LED at a later step. So now we want to put glue on the inside rim and then glue it right in place here on the body. And I can go ahead and do that. So I put just a little glue. Doesn't have to be a lot. Super glue, you know. And I put it in place, and then I need to hold it probably for 20 or 30 seconds until that glue has a chance to set. The next thing that we want to do is to put the pink parts of the nose and mouth and ears together. And I'll just go ahead and set this part aside. And the mouth and ears are one piece. You'll notice one side has some taper, the other side's perfectly flat. What you want to do is to put the glue on the perfectly flat side and then insert that into the slot on the face, and then hold that down. Let it set again for about 20 or 30 seconds and let the glue set. Next, the ears. You'll notice that the ears have a little groove in them, and the ear inserts have a side that have a ridge. You want the ridge to go into the groove. That's the idea. So again, we want to put a little glue around the ridge and then put it on the ear, line up the ridge, hold it in place until the glue sets. And ultimately, then we'll have the ears and face glued together, all of the pins on the wires, and the speaker mounted with the speaker cable, and that will take us through step number 4.